What's scarier, the monster outside your door or the one inside your mind? Welcome to Fearapy Sessions, horror from our perspective. We are your hosts, Pam and Domonique, two Black women therapists who live and breathe horror. And every week, we'll dive into the creepiest corners of film and culture through the lens of psychology, identity, and lived experience. From psychological thrillers to haunted houses, from the horror of not being believed to the monsters of the mind. No fear goes unanalyzed. Welcome.
Welcome back, Therapy fam. So you are tuned into Therapy Session. So we're going to dive into psychology of fear and the films that make our hearts race. So I hope you're ready to talk about some films today.
Yes. Hey, y'all. I'm Dominique.
And I'm Pam. So what if fear could be measured? Like literally, you know how scared you are when you're watching a movie. Just think about that. So today we're exploring this fascinating scientific scare project
Mhm.
where they can actually measure your fear based on your heart rate. So this study, it actually measures your heart rate during those tense moments of the movie so we can know how much did it really scare you.
Yeah, so we're going to dive into the science behind the screams ranked 46 through 50 on the Science of Scare list. And today we're exploring that part of the project, specifically starting from the end and making our way up to number one. And so the science of scare is a study that actually measures your heart rate to determine the scariest movies that were ever made, looking at what makes them scientifically terrifying and emotionally unforgettable. And so in like, ooh, sorry. In particular, the Science of Scare project uses biometric data from a panel of about 250 viewers. And so they were monitoring heart rate, they were tracking beats per minute, and they were tracking like the variance in milliseconds. And so a higher BPM indicated a faster heart rate, while a lower variance indicated more stress. And so the scare score that they came up with was created by combining the average of the heart rate and the decrease in the heart rate variance.
Right. So go ahead and grab those comfy blankets. No need to be afraid during this session, but dim the lights, get ready. We're gonna dive into some truly unnerving titles. There's some
Yes.
scary ones, and there's some up here like how you make the list, but whatever.
Right.
It's neither here nor
Right.
there. So
But
yes, important.
before that, this is really important because we've got some new things
Yes, very.
on to talk about today. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler
Spoiler
alert.
alert.
Spoiler.
So we will be talking in terms of brand new movies. We will be talking about The Conjuring, Last Rites, and we will be talking about Weapons. And so these two movies actually close out the top 50 list. And so if you haven't seen either one of those
Stop
and you
now.
don't want to go through this episode, please go ahead and pause, go watch them, come back, finish the episode, or if you don't care, let's rock out.
Yeah.
Let's rock out. Yeah, so the first one, which is actually number 50, so we're starting from the end, is Weapons.
Weapons, weapons, weapons. And so we did our due diligence and made
Yeah,
sure
we
we
did.
watched this weekend.
Yes.
So
Yes.
this movie, it was directed by Zach Krager.
Mhm.
It had a pretty modest cast in it, and so I will say that they did a lot of marketing on this movie, and so to the point where I didn't know what it was about though. I don't know
It
about you,
was
Dominique. Did you?
no. So I'm thinking, I didn't even realize that it was a horror film until I saw this list.
Uh-huh.
Actually, didn't
Uh-huh.
realize it was a horror film until I saw this list and it was ranked at like 50. And I was like, wait a second. Because I honestly thought it was like, because it said, oh, it's based on actual events. These kids in this class disappeared and blah, 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 blah. And I looked it up and I'm like, this isn't there's no story like this. Like, what could this possibly be about? And films about like missing children or exploited children, that's not my jam. Like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
not
I
my
thought
jam. So
about
I
you
was
when I
like,
watched it. Yeah,
yeah, I was like, I don't want to watch this.
yeah.
Like, I don't want to watch this movie. And then when I saw that it made the list, I was like, hold on, what is this actually about?
Mhm, mhm. And it's interesting. It kinda gave me the same vibes. What was that newer Brandy movie that's out right now? You know what I'm talking about with the old her mother-in-law's in the front room? It almost reminded me a little bit of that towards the end, and
Mm,
I think it might be called The Room or something like that, but, definitely if you haven't seen that, check that out. But with this one, it really it gave me whodunit vibe, early
mm-hmm,
on because it seemed like a mystery. We're trying to figure out what happened to these kids. These kids
mm-hmm,
literally woke up at 2:17 AM and walked out the front door of their parents' house, right? That's
yeah,
how the movie starts.
yeah.
This is how the
And
movie
it
starts.
starts right, and I mean, it starts off slow. It starts off like a mystery.
Mhm.
Something happened, these kids just up and left, like, you get no hints of horror until when did it pop up? Was it when the homegirl's face popped up in her dream or
Yeah,
something? Was
yeah,
that when it was?
yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, shit, hold on.
Yeah. It's not a
Whoa,
lotta it's not the monsters, right? So it's not a lotta,
no."
like, monster it's like us. We are the monsters, kind of in
Yeah,
this movie, and so there's not a lot of jump scares, but it does make you cringe. I will say that. It was
yeah,
very cringy. To your point, Dominique, if you're not the type of person that doesn't like the harming of children, if that
mhm,
upsets you, this is not the movie for you at all, so
yeah.
don't do it to yourself. Um
Yeah, it's a real and the way that it was made was so interesting, and so it's like it's this multi-story exploration of, like, violence and paranoia, and so I will say that the movie has these children in it, but they are not the main focus of the movie by any means, and I think that this movie absolutely deserves to be on the list because it does put you in this place. I was so uncomfortable the whole time.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I was just, like, sitting once I realized that there was something else going on, like, I
Mhm.
was just sitting there like, "Okay, what next is gonna happen?"
Yes, yes, definitely. And so there are based on the science, you asked, should it be on the list? So it makes number 50.
Mhm,
So there are a couple of fear mechanisms that kind of
mhm,
makes this, relevant to be on the list. And so it does have a lot of that makes it existential dread type mind thought of
yep,
it, right? So it's random violence and this culture of paranoia. These parents are blaming everybody because it's everybody's fault. It's kind of like why is this teacher class the only class gone? So it's just paranoia that she's the bad person and parents are
yep,
desperate. So you have that there. And there's a couple of other, things that makes it kind of, a reason for it to be on the list, I would say. What do you
yeah.
think, Dominique?
And I think that it's just the fear that lingers, and it's not about what's, like, jumping out at you, but it's more about, like, what's staying with you, and when you least expect it, like, there's this twist, right? And it's not like your standard horror movie, like, twist that has you screaming. Like you said, there's no monster. It's this, like it messes with your head so much. Like, when I tell you I was sitting there with my mouth open, like,
Yeah.
half the movie, like,
Hmm.
"What?
Yeah.
Like, what?" And then the ending, like, the last scene
It's a
with
sad
her
ending. It's sad.
would you say you
I would
said
say
this
I think it's a sad ending in my opinion. I wasn't happy with the ending at all. I had to
well,
go.
I know that
Yeah.
yeah, I know you said you weren't happy with the way that and because it did it felt abrupt, it felt like no closure. What I'm talking about was when they got the homegirl in the yard.
Yes. Nah, that was
I
good.
it was real good, but it was also like oh my goodness. Yeah.
Hmm.
It is a good movie.
Yeah,
It
and it's
is
very
a good
cautionary
movie.
tale in a way. It's very Pied Piper, like,
Mhm.
leading your children away from you. And it's like, first of all, I'm just trying to figure out how these kids got away and no parents got up and heard them leave. But that's neither here nor there. A lot of bad
Right.
parents in horror movies.
Your alarm's going off at 2:17 in the morning and you're not, like, jumping up to figure out what's going on. Like, there
Hmm.
was enough time for your child to set off the alarm and then run out the house before you had time to run after them, like, that just
Yeah.
but also, okay, like,
Okay.
I get it, like, kids are fast,
Mhm, mhm. They are indeed. Yes.
and
Yeah.
you're not fully awake, but, yeah, I think it was the other elements of, like, control
Mhm.
and I just wanna understand her purpose, right? Like, I initially thought that it was it Dorian Gray? Is that
Mhm.
Dorian Gray type of thing where you're taking someone's youth.
That's what it seemed like. She was sucking their life source is
Yeah,
what it seemed
but
like.
then yeah, but then it still seemed like there was nothing, there was no kind of improvement. And so I'm like, what really is your purpose? What really
Mhm.
is your purpose? And it also played a lot into, like some of the cultural beliefs
Yeah.
that folks have about, like, I don't know if you've heard this or had anybody tell you, you don't let anybody sweep up your hair.
That's right. That's actually in the hoodoo beliefs too with the hair thing.
Yes.
And so you don't let
Yes.
nobody get any piece of your hair. That's how you get a doll made out of you, okay?
Mhm,
You get rid
mhm,
of
and
your hair.
yep, and she wasn't as creative to make a doll, but that
Mhm.
stick
It was good enough.
wielded a lot of power.
It was good enough. And it just goes back to the fact that this made the list. We're more scared of people. There's a lot of people,
Yeah,
um, you know, kind of scary stuff on this list in the 50s. More of that than those monsters. We're not scared of monsters anymore. We're scared of our
right,
neighbor. We're scared of the old lady
right,
down the street now. So I think that's interesting. So
and that, like, why do you think that we are more afraid of each other than we are monsters now?
'cause we can see each other. It's, like,
Mhm,
real, right? It's like, "Hello, I'm right here. I can possibly come to your house and knock on the door," versus
yeah,
Freddy, you gotta go to sleep to see Freddy, right? Like, so you gotta go
yeah,
to Crystal Lake to
yeah,
see Jason. But people
yeah,
who could be your neighbors, that's scary. That's scary.
yeah,
Hey, when you put my kid in it, that makes it a horror movie for me. Like, if my if I'm chasing somebody who has my kid, I'm scared.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, and so I think that's also how it translates, like, social fears into psychological fear because they outside of the fact that she had lost her job at another school, which they were saying, like, she got fired because of an inappropriate relationship with another teacher, and that's strange to me that you would lose your job over that, but whatever, we don't know what they were doing.
Right.
But they had no real reason to have an issue with her, right? And so it shows you what happens when you get a bunch of people together
Yeah.
and they, especially around trauma, and there is like a singular focus because they were coming for her.
Mob
They were
mentality.
coming for her.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And the my first thought is at the beginning of the movie did not go towards the teacher. It went towards why is this the only little boy that didn't get
Yeah.
taken? That was my
Yeah.
thought. And so the fact that the other parents were like, "Oh, poor thing, he lost all his classmates," that was really interesting to me. So,
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah. No, for sure. Because I definitely wondered, I was like, "Okay, it's just the 2 of them? Like,
Yeah.
what is going on here? What is
Yeah.
going on?" It made absolutely no sense whatsoever.
Yeah. Yeah. And the teacher, I doubt she would come back if she kidnapped all your kids.
Yeah, I'm
I don't think she would come to work the next day.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
really don't think she's showing
Yeah.
up. So,
Number 50.
that's number 50, and it's one I think deserves to be on the list.
It does. And you should watch it at least once, at least.
Yes, at least one time. Yeah.
Mhm.
Alright, so the next one is our second new film. This one's actually still in the movies. We actually went and saw it together.
Yes.
So, it was a fun experience, and number 49 is the new Conjuring film, The Last Rites. So, it hasn't been out too long, but they're already ranking it on this list of as number 49 of scariest films in terms of scare of all times, and I think that's interesting. I
Yeah.
I think that's interesting because 'cause I'm not sure it belongs on the list.
I'm not sure. The thing about it though is Conjuring, all of these type of movies in the Conjuring universe, they're all on this list. Let's just go ahead and say it. At some
Mhm. They
point,
are all on
they're
the
all
list.
on the list, and so you already have your expectations there. I thought this one was gonna have me like peeing on myself in the movie theater type stuff.
Yeah, I
Um,
did too.
Not quite though, right? It had its
No,
moments, and so but
it
within
did.
this universe, this is what fear was made out of right here. This whole scare meter really You can thank the Conjuring universe for it because it did
Mhm.
something new when it first came out, but this one, I don't think is scarier than any of the other ones. So
Yeah,
that's my thought.
I don't think so. It absolutely had its jump scare moments, but I
Mhm.
don't think sporadic jump scare moments make a film scary. Like, it was had scary moments, right? It wasn't something that, like, when I left, I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's a scary movie."
Yeah, yeah, and, it has our some of our favorite characters are still in it, playing those iconic, individuals. Their names just completely jumped out of my brain, but they're played by Vera Farmiga and,
The
Patrick
warm
Wilson. So
Yeah, the warrant.
the Warrens, yeah, so it's true story about them. They traveled the world collecting
Mhm,
different possessed items, including Annabelle. They were the family responsible for, like, the Amityville Horror, house. They
mhm.
helped that family during that. So it's, like, based on a true story. So I think in this one, they were trying to do a wrap up, and so
Yep.
they went really hard on the story side, which I respect as the movie. So I'm not gonna say this is a bad movie. I think it's a good movie. I think
Nope,
it's a good
it
wrap
is a
up
good
for the
movie.
Conjuring universe. Was I yelling in the movie theater?
I did twice.
Jump. I gave it up.
I'm not gonna lie.
Like,
Yeah,
the little
when
thing
the
at the end of the
hand
bed? Yeah.
that and the hand on the shoulder
Uh-huh.
at dinner, cause I like, even before it seemed like there was a focus, I was sitting there and I'm watching, and I was like, "Oh," I saw it on her shoulder, and then they reacted, and I'm like,
Mhm.
"Okay, that
Yeah.
got me." Like, that scared me a little
Mhm.
bit, and then there was another moment, I can't remember what it was, and I jumped, and I'm like, "Okay, the jump scares are good.
The jump
I will
scares are
give you
good.
that, the jump
It's a
scares are
good
good."
3 jump scares in here, a good 3 or 4, and one of them, it always reminds me, like, when you're laying in the bed in the middle of the night, and maybe you're up for whatever reason, you look at your phone. Does everybody have that fear that they're gonna move their phone and someone's face is, like, right there? Is it just me?
Girl.
They had one of those jump scare moments. Like, he looked randomly, won't think, and nothing gonna be there, and something's like
Yeah.
like, right
Yeah,
there, so
just
that's
like
scary.
just right there in your face. So
Mhm.
I don't have that fear. The fear that I have is that, oh my gosh, I was scarred for life, y'all, by Freddy Krueger. But when I turn my lights off, we have like the door open, and there's like a way that the shadow is cast from the light outside that it looks like there's somebody standing outside my bedroom door, and I'm just
Not
like,
with nails.
that's not him. That's not him. That's not him. It's okay, Dominique.
Mhm,
He's not there. He's
mhm.
not there. I
I
promise you,
love
he's
that's
not
kinda like
there.
what the girl mom was telling her to say in The Conjuring. It's not there, it's not real.
Yeah,
I love
it's not real, it's not real. So, yeah, yeah, good film,
Yeah,
good franchise,
yeah.
not I don't think it belongs on the list.
I think the reason this and the other ones, and even with this ranking system, I think is that,
Mhm.
anticipation of fear. Like, you have a build up, and we have such a expectation, so we're like, "Okay, something's about to happen, let me cover my eyes before it jumps," right? And so I think
Mhm.
that kinda gets your heartbeat going, so that's probably why it made the list, 'cause I can see how you're like, "Okay, I know something's gonna happen, something's gonna jump out," but I think they tried to do too much in this film. There were way too
Yeah.
many ghosts. I mean, like, why was Annabelle in
What and why was she, like, 6 feet tall? Like,
Yes,
it felt the Annabelle scene felt unnecessary.
unnecessary.
It
Like, they were just
really, really
throwing
did.
you had to make sure we saw the nun's picture in the background, like, you really
They were
you threw
closing it
everything.
out. Mhm.
It was a and I really don't feel like it's closed out. It didn't feel like closure. It felt like closure for the couple, but now you just introduced their whole daughter with the same
Yeah.
exact ability, so I do feel like there's gonna be some additional movies
Yeah.
probably after this, but they definitely tried to they were throwing spaghetti at the wall, scene was stuck, and it was a bit much. So, yeah.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah,
Agreed.
yeah.
Still a good movie.
Still a good
Just
movie, not
yeah,
that
a bit
scary.
much. Yep.
Yes. Good documentation type movie, basically. So, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I felt like it could have been a paranormal style with the way that things were going with that particular family, but, it's all good. Alright, moving on to the next film.
Next on the list is Oculus.
Mhm.
This is a very different movie, right? So, I
Very.
Mike Flanagan, director,
Mhm.
basically is really all about a haunted mirror, pretty much. In the
Mhm.
nutshell, it's about a haunted mirror. This came out in 2013, so keep in mind, this is not new. So, we
Not new.
talking 12 years later, and it's still scaring the crap out of people. So, it's on the
Mhm.
list for 48. What were your thoughts on this movie?
I thought it was a very interesting movie. Like, what I enjoyed about it most was the idea that your perception is your reality, right? And so the brother and the sister in the same house having the same experience, but they experienced it so differently.
Right.
And I think that that's what made it so good was because they're basically battling each other's memories and each other's perceptions about what happened. And I think that it took for the brother to see, the scene where the cameras are turned towards each other and then they watch the footage and they did it, but neither one of them can remember that happening.
Mhm.
It was like and so that kind of plays into that, like, when your perception is your reality and then you talk things through and you're faced with a culminating event that goes, "Wait, okay, maybe," right?
Maybe, yeah,
Maybe we're both right and things aren't what we thought they were in a particular way. But
yeah,
yeah, I think it's scary. I don't know in terms of it belonging on the list as scary. I
yeah.
think if it was like, oh, The Conjuring or Oculus would
Mhm,
belong on
mhm,
the list more than The
yeah,
Conjuring, but I mean, I see why it's lower on the list,
yeah.
but I don't understand why Weapons is lower than either of these 2.
So you think Weapons is scarier than both?
Yes.
I think they're all where they belong so far.
Okay.
I think these in particular are lower enough on the list that they don't take away from anything else.
Mhm.
So if they were like 20, I would be like, no, like not at all. But one thing about Oculus that I like as a mental health therapist, I love the
Mhm.
impact of childhood trauma, how it
Mhm.
kind of, because these kids went through some trauma. The brother, he was in an institution. He got treatment for it, so he almost talked
Yeah.
himself out of it didn't
Yeah.
happen. It was in
But
their
he went into
minds. Yeah.
Yeah, but he went into the institution because he shot his dad.
Yeah.
And so because of that, that was why he was, like, forced into this institution and
Yeah.
had to go through the things, and the sister didn't.
Yeah.
Because initially, it was like, why didn't the sister go in
Mhm.
too? But it was because he was the one who shot their
Yeah.
dad,
Yeah, and
and
had to. He
he had
had to
to
shoot him. Yeah.
um, and you don't realize that until they're like, "Oh, you reached 21," and he's almost like, at a parole hearing or something
Yeah.
to get
Yeah.
out. But yeah, like, they had this truly traumatic experience where mom just something broke in
Yeah.
mom, right? Like, it was pretty significant in the scene where she's trying to attack him and he puts her in the chokehold, and then he's just like, "It's
Mhm.
fine. It's fine. Mom's just taking a nap. We're
Yeah.
good. Just go
Yeah.
in your room and stay in there." I'm like,
Pretty yeah.
"Okay, yeah,
Yeah, pretty scary. Again, didn't have me putting my head under the covers, but it's at the end of the
no."
list. Now, this list, it jumps over number 46 for whatever reason because there's a tie
Mhm,
in the 46 mark, and so there's 2 movies
mhm.
that's neck to neck 46. And so we can kind of talk about them at the same time, I guess. So
Yes.
the first one is The Grudge. I like this.
Yes.
I
I
think
l
the original one is scarier than the remake. Remake meaning the
mhm.
American made. So I like
Yes,
the original Ju-on. That one was scary to me, much more scary than The Grudge, but they kept it consistent.
they did.
Yeah.
It felt like the same exact movie, just
Mhm.
different characters,
Yeah.
and I agree, the original J-horror is of Ju-on is so much scarier. I love that, like, I loved that the original like, I watched the American remake first and then went back and watched the original, and I was like, I love the original more than I liked the American version, but the American version was still good,
Yeah, yeah.
and it
It
was
seemed
still
out of place to
scary.
me, honestly, though. The original made sense because either way they still went to Asia with
Yep.
the so it's kinda
And I
like
appreciated that,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah, staying true to that piece of it, unlike a lot of movies where
They
they'll go and
bring it.
change the entire environment
Mhm.
and place where they are, and I'm like, "You're taking away from the whole purpose." But yeah, so, yeah, this one I thought was scary.
It is scary.
Absolutely.
I honestly, I think this one coulda been moved close
Yes.
it could have been moved farther down.
Mhm.
Maybe not the top 10, but at least the top 30 or so, because this
Yeah.
was a very different movie, so I think it could have been moved, down a little, but it's interesting that it tied with 28 Days Later.
Listen, and you know how I feel about that movie.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, I still haven't finished it.
yeah. And, 28 days later, it's hard for me to really determine, of course, this director, Danny Boyle. I don't know
Mhm.
if this terrifies me or not.
It
Um,
didn't seem scary.
yeah,
Yeah.
but it would I but it does get your heart beat racing because these are some fast zombies, and this was our introduction to fast
Mhm,
zombies, like, ridiculous. They changed like that, like, you gotta chop them up as soon as you get stabbed,
mhm.
as soon as you get bit, you gotta go ahead and chop their head off. So that I don't think it was fear, it's that the anxiety that kinda keep gets your heart rate going with that.
It could very well have been the newness of the genre, like the
Mhm,
change in the zombie genre for sure,
mhm,
and folks are used to the slow,
mhm,
right? The slows zombies, the ones where you have time after for someone to transition,
yeah,
and probably the newness of, like, quickness, how fast they run and how quick they change. I could see that
yeah, yeah.
being frightening.
Yeah, and that
Yeah.
was 2002, so even still in 2025, it's still scaring people. So
Yeah.
maybe people went to go see it before they saw 28 years later. So maybe that kind of is why it's on the list now because it's interesting. I don't think it probably should have been on the list honestly because it's not as
Mm-mm.
relevant and scary as other ones, but again, it keeps your heartbeat going. The Grudge 100% it should be
Mm.
on the list. It should probably be farther on
It
the
should be
list
higher.
because it's different because that hand coming out your
That
hair
scene in the
stuff,
shower?
yeah, and the look yeah, little boy just being everywhere, just popping up on you in the attic. It was some jump scares in that one.
It really was, like, that movie deserved to be higher.
Yeah, 100%.
I wanna know who these people are that they
Yeah, yeah.
were, like, testing,
I need to
that
know
did
too.
this experiment. I need to know who they are.
Yeah, I need to see all of their research,
Right.
how they came across this, yeah.
But I guess also we have to realize that from our perspective, we enjoy these movies, and
Yeah.
so, like, I guess the layperson
Mhm.
would I wonder if that's who they got, like,
Yeah.
your ordinary people who don't typically watch these movies.
Mhm.
If they're the ones that they got to do the experiment and then they tested, I would like to know what it would be if you got, like, true horror fans.
Yeah, yeah. Our heart well, they people probably think we're a little crazy, so our heart rate probably wouldn't move so while
Just
watching
be
some of them. I will be
just be
yelling at
sitting
the
there
screen.
like,
I would be like,
"This is
"Run!
scary?"
He's right there!" Like, I will be
Right.
yelling, but I wouldn't be scared.
Yeah.
So yeah. But, this is the list. This is, 50 to 46.
Mhm.
There's a lot more I cannot there are some that I have some real opinions on as we move a little farther down, so I guess we'll go
Yeah.
over this, weekly. So, any other thoughts about what we went through so far, 50 through 46? I'm kinda like, "Meh."
I mean, at least 2 of them I felt like absolutely belong where they were. The others, I question whether or not they should have been on the list, but again, we just talked about why, like, some
Yeah.
people may have thought it was scary, while the rest of us are like, "I watched this to go to sleep."
Yeah, yeah. Maybe in
This
the
puts
top
me to
100. Maybe in the top 100, not in the
It
top
could be in the
50.
100.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and there is a that actually see, now you have me thinking. There is
Mhm.
a list of the top 100. I'm gonna go see where the ones that we felt like shouldn't have been on the list fall
Yeah,
within the 100 period, because that top 100 is from people who respect and love the movies and, like, look at it from a different point of view than, like, your average person. So, Imma give myself homework.
yeah,
Give myself
definitely.
homework.
I love it, love it.
Mhm.
Alright, so if you agree or don't agree, let us know in the comments. We will continue with this top 50. Make sure you catch our next episode, and
Mhm.
if it's something that you just 100% disagree with, please tell us, 'cause we wanna know.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
And it is Halloween week, y'all, the best week
yes.
of the year,
The best.
outside of our birthday weeks,
Of
we'll
course,
say that.
of course.
And so we're really excited about this next episode, and we can't wait to talk about all the things that make horror movie great, like the original folks.
Yes.
The original folks, and this is gonna be so much fun. So make sure you tune in later this week for our Halloween episode. But
Yeah,
until next time or until next session,
yep.
we'll
See
see
you
y'all later.
then.
Bye.
Bye.